What's up guys and welcome. I'm super excited today because we're gonna take a dive into the virtual world, and we're gonna do that using the HTC VIVE Cosmos and the Oculus Rift S. We're gonna talk a little bit about the differences between these two, but not so much about the technical, although we are going to mention it, but more like how they feel and what the experience is like in using these. So I hope you're ready because I am, and here we go. First up, we have the HTC VIVE Cosmos, and this is the more expensive of the two. It uses two 3.4-inch LCD screens offering a resolution of 1440 by 1700 each, making it a combined resolution of 2880 by 1700. The Oculus Rift S uses one screen, and it has a 2560 by 1440 resolution, so this is slightly higher. And this also runs in 90 Hz, where the Rift S runs in 80 Hz. And what the differences are is something I'm curious of seeing, if it's even noticeable. But one thing they do have in common is that they both use the inside-out tracking, meaning that you no longer have these external sensors that you place in the room to track the headset and the controllers. Everything is tracked by the headset itself, and they both offer a 110-degree field of view. Now let's open this bad boy up and see what we got. Okay, the first thing we see is a guide to download the appropriate software and how to set everything up. And you also have your serial number there, so it's a good thing worth keeping. Then we got the headset. We open the smaller box on the side, and in here is a power adapter, a DisplayPort cable, and a USB 3.0 cable. So make sure you hook this up to a USB 3.0 port on your computer. Then we got a link box where everything is going to be connected. We get two AA batteries for the controllers, because this does not have rechargeable controllers like the VIVE Pro, but the controllers look pretty awesome. We also get a cleaning cloth, so we can clean sensors or the lenses in case they get dirty. We get a thick manual with two stickers inside. And that's about it. As you can see, it's quite a lot of stuff, so I'll just show you how to hook everything up as well. Start with the link box, and you connect the headset cable in one end, and on the other end you connect your USB cable, your DisplayPort cable, and also your power adapter. And then of course you connect the USB cable to your USB 3.0 port in your computer and the DisplayPort and hook it up to power. Now let's take a look at the Oculus Rift S and see what we got in this box. I'm instantly struck by how simplistic and how little things there are in here. We got the controllers themselves. Then we got the headset. And then there's a smaller box in there containing a small manual. We get a DisplayPort to mini DisplayPort adapter, which is pretty nice in case you want to game on a laptop, because most laptops don't have DisplayPorts, they use mini DisplayPort. And we get two AA batteries, because these controllers only use one each. And this is pretty much it. I don't think you need a guide here, but it's the same. you have the USB cable going into your USB 3.0 port and a display port into your graphics card. Okay, so the first thing I tried was Beat Saber on the HTC VIVE Cosmos. This is a game where you really have to like move the controllers fast, and I thought this was the perfect test to see how the inside-out tracking system would perform. And I was really impressed with how well it worked. There were a few occasions where I had my arms too much on the sides, where it felt like they lost connection, but it could be just my imagination. Overall, it felt really nice, and it's so good to not have those external sensors anymore. It makes VR so much more accessible and easy to use, not to mention to set up. Then I tried a few other games and everything just felt so amazing. The screen looked great and the experience is just amazing playing VR games. And then I took a look at the Vive port, which is like the hub for the HTC VIVE Cosmos. I had an issue where I accidentally picked up a controller for a RC car and I didn't know how to put it down, and then I couldn't use my left hand to interact with other things, which got me a bit annoyed, but I figured it out eventually. And the Oculus Rift S introduction system was just something else, man. I mean, this really gave me such an amazing introduction to VR. I can imagine if you're a person using VR for the first time and you go through this tutorial and this introduction that the Oculus offers, it was just great. I mean, it was playing this magical music and you get to do all these cool stuff. It was the perfect introduction to virtual reality. And after you had the little tutorial introduction, you get teleported to this room and you wake up this cute little Wall-E looking robot who's at first a bit scared of you and runs away. Then you wave to him and he comes, and I mean, this whole experience was so cool. I was just so sucked into this world. So he eventually gives you cassettes or discs. And then these amazing things start to happen. First, there were some really pretty butterflies that came flying out that you could interact with. Then it gives you more cassettes of different things. I, of course, went straight for the guns. And it was like a digital-looking Nerf gun thing, and you shoot at targets, and you can shoot at everything around you, and this was so cool. I had so much fun here. And then we played some games, of course, and I played the same games that I played with the VIVE Cosmos, just to see if I noticed any differences. There were small differences, but not much. We're gonna talk about all that soon. I had a small issue with my controllers, and we're gonna talk about that as well in a minute. But getting access to your Steam library was super easy. With the VIVE Cosmos, you had to connect your VivePort account to your Steam account to get access to your Steam library. Here I didn't even have to do that, so nothing special there. And I'm just blown away by how the Rift S can be sold at this price. Okay, so it's time to summarize my final thoughts after using these two, and we can start with the setup process. I definitely think that the Rift S had a lot more streamlined and a fun way to introduce you to the VR world. Although VivePort looks amazing, it just wasn't as interactive and it didn't give me that magical feeling that I got when I set up the Oculus Rift S. If we talk about the headsets themselves and the tracking, I think it worked fine, better than I expected actually, but I had a few issues with the Rift S where one of my controllers would just disappear and then reappear 15-20 seconds later. It was kind of annoying, but it didn't happen that many times, although if it's a continuous problem, that could be something that annoys you. I don't know if it was just mine or if it's something that you guys have experienced as well. If you have one, let me know in the comments if you did. And if we talk about how they fit on my head, well, the VIVE Cosmos, I had an issue where I got light coming in from the underneath. I don't know if it's because my nose is too big, but I didn't have the same issue with the Oculus Rift where I felt like it sat a lot more tightly on my face, and it doesn't weigh as much either, so it felt a lot more natural and it helped the immersion a lot. And the difference in resolution and update frequency that we talked about earlier was noticeable, but not by a whole lot. I only noticed it because I tried the same game right after each other, and then I could see a little bit difference. It was a little bit sharper and a little bit more fluid on the HTC VIVE Cosmos, but it was still great on the Oculus Rift S. The sound was definitely a lot better on the HTC VIVE Cosmos. But the good thing is that you have a 3.5mm head jack here on the Rift S where you can plug in your own in-ear headphones. And now to the controllers. The Rift S controllers are a lot smaller and weigh a lot less than HTC VIVE Cosmos. I kind of like that, but maybe you don't. Besides that, they feel basically the same and they have pretty much the same buttons on them. So not a lot of differences there besides the size and the weight. That was it for this video, guys. I had a blast testing these two headsets and I really love VR gaming. Let me know what you think of it, and if you know any good games, please write them down in the comments below. I would love to try some new games out. And if you have any other questions, just write them down in the comments and we try to get to it. Take care out there now, and I'll see you soon.